Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Antoine from High Desert Pythons, and I'm so glad you guys jumped in. I have the man, the myth, the legend,
Eh.
Billy Rose in the house from Mutation Creation. Dude, super happy that you're here, man. You know what? I gotta do something for you real quick. Hold on. I didn't have it last time, but we gotta cue the air horns for the homie. So we gotta do it, man. So what's going on, brother? What you up to?
Not much, man. Just got in from the facility. Got a little bit of a rest before the show. Put some food in me, and yeah, good to go.
Yeah, today was my mite prevention day. So like a couple times out of the month, I like take out all the racks and spray them down with my Ivermectin solution and stuff and things. And it's just one of them things you got to do, man. So I'm just like people like, do you have mites? I'm like, no, bitch, because I'm trying to keep from getting mites. So that's all I do.
Yeah, that's all prevention.
Right. And like, people get crazy about, especially when you bring up, I call it the M word, because people go, all right, it's so taboo. But I tell people, all the time, man, there's three types of keepers, man. There's a keeper who's had mites before, there's the keeper who doesn't know he has mites, and then there's liars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's something where you understand why you want to prevent to have them.
For real, man. Yeah, because I used to breed dogs when I lived in North Carolina, and like there's fleas and ticks and bot flies and stuff like that too. That's comes to the territories with animals and stuff, man. I see guys that which like reptile shows, when that was the normal. And I hear people like that. Oh man, I heard that blah 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 has the mites on them, and you got a deer tick on your ear, dude. I'm like, what are you doing? like, dude, like you. So don't tell me you keeping your stuff clean when you got like chigger marks on you. I know what that looks like, man. You freaking nasty.
Yep.
So yeah, the way I found you, man, it was like about 3 years ago. I was, just on YouTube, and how it does like the next, the playlist and the algorithm thing. And then I saw you pop up, and I was like, man, who's this bald dude with the tattoos with like all these ARS racks in the back? And then I like turned up the volume and stuff too. I'm like, oh, he's got to be Canadian, dude. Dude, I was like, heck yeah. So then, I was like, I need to figure out more, because like a lot of people in America, we don't talk about Canadian breeders, like that too. But so I went in there, kind of like watched the videos and kind of saw like the egg cutting methods and things like that, and just how the way you have things set up. And I was like, dude, it's so professional in there. The facility looks so great. And I know we talked about it before, but just the way your lighting reflected off of like the stainless steel top of the ARS racks and how that made the lighting, it looked like a studio in there. You said, even though you really wasn't trying to make it look like that, but it kind of worked. It kind of worked out for you. So yeah, man. So I've been following you for a long time. And oh, by the way, I still got to do the t-shirt shout out.
Oh yeah.
Boom. That's the Patreon shirt right here. So
it looks good. I'm still waiting for mine, man. I haven't even got mine yet.
So I like this one because I get to show off the the cuts and stuff. And you got the tank on too, so you trying to one up me.
I'm always in a tank, man.
And you got like 4 or 5 more tattoos than I do. So yeah, man. So what I wanted to do differently, talking to you this time, is like not your typical, how'd you get started in ball pythons and what happens when you put this together, and what's your favorite morph this year and stuff. We'll get to all that stuff now, but the thing what made me interested about you is that I remember hearing you saying that like you've never had a regular job before. Like
regular job would have been 18 years old, maybe 16, 17, 18. Then I went to school and I dropped out and been an entrepreneur ever since.
Yeah. And one thing I'm big on is having that entrepreneurial spirit, because, like you probably heard the cliche a bunch of times. Hey, it's the American dream. When you come out here, it's the roads paved with gold and things like that. And that's how I grew up, So I didn't have the traditional family where they made me just like, hey, you need to go to college, you need to do this, you need to do that. So like in my brain, I always had 2 things I wanted to do: have my own pet store, have my own martial arts school. Since I was 7 years old, that's all I ever wanted to do, and that's where I am now. So it's crazy how much you and I have in common, other than the fact that we're bald and have ball pythons too. Is that well, my middle name is actually William too, so that's funny. So and you used to also have a martial arts school, man. So but so before you got to ball pythons, what did you get into first as far as like those other businesses?
Well, my very first one, I was 19 years old, 19, 20. I ended up getting into the baseball and hockey card business. Mm-hmm. So I opened up my first store, and that was 89, 90. So, some people probably is like, holy shit, I wasn't even born then. Yeah, 19 years old, dropped out of school, opened up a store, and it was just when the business was booming. So I always had a bunch of hockey cards and stuff when I was a kid. And it was funny how I got into it is I had a whole bunch of stuff and I went to go sell it. And back then I didn't really have a lot of places that would buy it. So I'm like, so I went to a flea market and drove out, got a parking spot. I think I paid like $20 for the table. And I got a little table that I ended up unfolding and buying and set up in the parking lot, put a tablecloth down and put all these cards down and had them in little cases, and I priced them. And I did like $3,000. And I'm just like, back in 1989, 90, it was like fucking like 20K today, or maybe even more. So I'm sitting there like going, oh my God, I'm just going here. And I sold like $3,000. And I'm like, I still have all this shit left. And then people were asking, hey, do you have any of this? Do you have any of that? And I'm like, well, no, I'm trying to sell this stuff off. Oh, if you had this, I'll buy it. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. And then I started going around and seeing what other people had. And I was buying and selling. And next thing I went back to the next week because it was every Sunday. I went back the next week and I did another $2,000 or $3,000. Jeez. Hey, man, you have a store? Where can I buy you? Do you have a number? Next thing you know, I went and printed off a business card. And 4 weeks later, I opened up a store, in the same town where the flea market was.
Oh, nice.
And I would go there on Sunday saying, yeah, hey, I also have a store here, blah, blah, blah. And then I would get the wax packs. They called them wax packs, where you actually had the paper and you would, or the packs, and you'd wrap them up and you unwrap them. They're made out of wax. And then they started coming up. All these new companies started coming up, and I just started buying and selling. And next thing you know, I'm doing 6 figures a year at 20 years old. I'm like, what the fuck? And that was sort of a niche business because in 91, 92, we had a recession. GST came into play, and I didn't know. So I opened up a second store when I should have been, I'm growing when I should have been retreating.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's like, oh, people don't have all this extra income. And this isn't something, it was more of like a hobby / fad. And the money wasn't coming in, but the expenses were higher now because I doubled everything, and it just went down. But,
so it was just hockey cards, or did like other sports too, or?
Oh yeah, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, all that type of stuff. And then I think in 92, 93, I got back into it. So I got rid of those stores and I got back into it. But memorabilia was huge.
Yeah.
So signed stuff, jerseys, pucks, and I ended up getting into that and cards again. Opened up a big place. I put a lot of money into it here in Mississauga, and that did really well. But then the NHL went on strike for a year.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I'm like, wow, and all the money that we had out. But I ended up selling off to a partner, to a guy that I actually partnered with the memorabilia. And then he ended up buying my whole store, and I got out. And he's still one of the biggest in the business for memorabilia now.
Holy shit.
And he's still doing it. Yeah. And we're going to be doing some stuff as well. Like he does a lot of the Maple Leafs and stuff that come into town, and the basketball players. He's also moved into rock memorabilia. Mm. So he's pretty awesome. And I'm going to start, now that I have a little bit more time, when he starts having these signings, public signings, I'm going to go there and meet them and get my picture and get some personalized stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty cool. Just, seeing legends and amazing people and get something personalized for them. And, I start collecting stuff like that.
And then, so from there you went to Which industry next?
There, from after that, I went into the moving business. So I had a moving company.
Oh shit.
So, and how I got into that is a friend of mine, he ended up having, his parents did it. And, they ended up, especially at the end of the month, it was almost like a part-time thing. It turned into a full-time thing. So what would happen at the end of the month? Everybody moves. End of the month, first of the month. That's when the busy season is. So what would happen? We'd go and we'd rent trucks from like U-Haul or United or Budget. And we'd, depending on the job, we'd go get cube vans or 26 footers. And I would go and I would invest in padding and stuff like that. And they would say, hey, you know what? We got some extra jobs. Like, you can work 5 days this week. And we would go do these jobs and we'd make pretty decent money. Next thing you know, we started getting busier and busier. Then I go, I bought a truck and rented 2 more. Next thing you know, we're doing 3 jobs a day. And yeah, but the problem with that business is the guys that, it's tough. You couldn't move every single day. It's so tough on your body, the heavy stairs, the weather. It's, not a great job, but it's better than roofing. So,
oh man, yeah.
the guys that do roofing, man, fuck, man, I don't know how they do it. But the problem with that is you get guys and you rely on these guys. Like the bodies are needed to move the furniture. So, they'll work one day and decide not to show up the next day. And it's like, I got to be at this person's house at 6:30 a.m. with 3 guys. And it's me and another guy. How are we supposed to move all this shit? Yeah. So I've been calling people at 6, 7 in the morning going, hey, it's like, fuck off, Billy. I just got in the door, man. I'm like, dude, like if I knew last night, I wouldn't have drank all night. I didn't know last night. I know this morning. And it was really tough because now you have to do twice the work. You're walking into a customer's house and they're, what do you mean you only have 2 guys? They're pissed, especially if they had elevators booked in a building. They only have them for certain hours. But you don't fucking get it done. You're using the stairs. It's not cool because somebody else is moving in, right? So, it was so tough. And I'm just like, you know what? People that you need to rely on, if you can't trust them and they're not solid, you're not solid.
Yep.
And it's just too much. And I just said, you know what? After about 2-3 years, I said, screw this. And I got out. And then after that is when I got into the gym business.
Oh, nice.
So it was funny because I actually went and my old partner at the time, I actually wanted to take kickboxing. So of course, come on. I went to his gym and he had a small gym and looking around and I'm like, wow, this is cool. It's like, you should come to the classes. And I came to one class and there's just so many people. And it's like, oh, it's so basic. I want to go faster. I'm learning, but how do I get faster? I don't want to do these 1, 2, 3 things. I want to learn faster and go at my own pace, move and not like, so I said, hey man, do you ever do one-on-ones? And he's like, yeah, but it's pricey. He said, if you get 2 or 3 more guys together, I would do it like that. And we would, I'm like, accelerate you guys and push you, faster, not like the class, totally different. So I'm like, cool. So I was able to find a couple of my buddies and, we went and he'd punish us. And it was like,
see, it was guys like you that I didn't have any free weekends because I was doing all these smaller privates. But it helped, it helped fund the snakes. So, you know what I mean? It worked out.
Yeah. So, I liked it. And a couple of the guys got out and he was doing really big. And do you remember, what's it called? Tybo.
Yeah, Tybo. Billy Blank's sister.
Blanks, yeah. Well, when that came, that was probably, let's see, 97, 98 back then. And it was coming huge and everybody was trying to do, it was like the craziest fad. And he was like, dude, man, like, I would go to the gym and it was just jammed with all these people doing Tybo. And it's like, fuck, they were stepping, like he had no more room in the place. And I'm like, dude, man, like you're jammed. He goes, oh dude, it's expensive doing this and doing that. And I'm like, well, fuck, you need a partner. And he's like, yeah, you have one? I'm like, well, fuck, let's do it. So we got a 5,000 square foot place and renovated it, had a little part of a gym and redid it. And that's how I got into the gym business. It was called MAFA, MAFA for Martial Arts Fighting Academy.
Nice.
And we did that. I did that for about 2-3 years and got out of that, just because partners and You know, I want to go one way, he wants to go another way. And
that's a problem with partners, man. Sometimes even when you're friends and stuff too, you do have a common goal at times. A lot of times from the business aspect, you guys start having like, opposing opinions on things and stuff like that. And, and a lot of times, you break up amicably, but other times, like in my situation, like the guy I was with, he just secretly opened his own gym and like moved away. I'm like, hey man, you could have talked to me about this. He's like, I just want to do my own thing, and oh yeah, I'm taking everybody with me. So I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, not cool. But the shit like that happens, man. It's crazy. And then from there, I actually played semi-professional poker, and I also got back in because the memorabilia business started taking off. Like it was huge. Wayne Gretzky opened up his own company. Steiner, a big company out of New York, they went and like they got like Mark Messier and a lot of the big stars, Kobe Bryant, and who else went with Upper Deck? There was a Kevin Garnett. I'm trying to think. Who cares? But all these other companies started getting in, and then my buddy, I'm like, hey man, it's taken off. It's like, yeah. So I wanted to get involved. So, I would take some of my poker money and I would invest in some of these signings so that we would pay athletes to come sit down and sign a bunch of different memorabilia. And then I ended up getting in and start selling stuff on eBay and stuff. And between that and poker, I was doing phenomenal. But then, with poker, skill doesn't beat luck. You can be amazing. You can have mathematics. It's the way the cards run. Yep. And if you have bad luck, I mean, I'd win 20, 30, 40,000. And, some nights I'd lose 50, the same or 50. I think the most I ever lost was about 100 and something thousand in one night.
Jeez.
Yeah. And the story to that, I was making so much money and I wanted to spoil myself. So I bought a gold Breitling watch. Okay. And then I iced it out. So that was 110K was walking around on my wrist. And we're in a poker game and I was in a hand and, money's in the table and I had it. I won. There's no way I could lose. There's only one card that could beat me. And there's no way this fucker had it. And it's like, hey man, it's a nice watch. Throw that. And I'm like, fuck, sure. What would you throw in? He put his card in, fucking put it on the table. He flipped it and he had that one fucking card. And that was a wake up call to me because it was like, wow. Crazy. Like, 1%, 2%, and one card only could beat me in the hand. And I fucking lost. And wow, taking that hit and then, it's like a rough ride, when you keep getting hit, it's like, okay, you know what? I got to either take a break or not do this. And I end up getting out, putting more time in the memorabilia, starting getting my money back. And, then from there, the passion was gone. It wasn't, what I was doing? I was listing, taking pictures, listing, selling, answering emails, taking the deposits or thing, going, packaging them up, going to the post office, shipping, then taking pictures. It was boring. There was no fun. The money was coming in great, but it was just like, all I did was sit on a computer, take pictures, go to the post office. That's all I fucking did 7 days a week. The more I wanted to make, the more time I had to take pictures, the more time I had to post, the more answers I had to emails I had to answer, the more time I had to spend in the line. I used to walk in with 40, 50 packages a week to the post office and spend 2-3 hours doing it. It was just nuts. And I'm like, I fucking hate this. So got out of that business. So then I got into breeding dogs and becoming a carpenter and starting, doing home renovations. And then from there, I got into the security, and I was also breeding dogs. I got out of the dogs, got into snakes, and then security and snakes, and now just snakes. Bam.
Damn, man. That's nuts. Yeah, I went from a dog breeder to the martial arts gym to snakes to martial arts again and back to snakes. So now I'm doing snakes in the gym at the same time, and then with the COVID mess, the home gym is doing okay. You know what I mean? It could be better right now, but California is being California. So, so no one's allowed out the house apparently, like whatever. So, it's just freaking nuts, man. So, and I think that's what me and you have an advantage, especially you, like being like with animals beforehand when breeding dogs. You kind of see like it's a lot of parallels to it too, like the people in the industry and like the caddy people and the people who think they're competing with you that's in the same exact lane as you are, but they don't realize that, you know what I mean, you guys have two different visions and they're angry with you because they see your success is different. So man, it's just deja vu all over again, and probably,
Yep. The thing is with the dogs, like I loved it and I learned a lot. I did English bulldogs.
Nice.
The English bulldogs, I had to always go to the vet.
Yeah.
Artificially inseminated. But it was like, okay, cool. But
and
then
C-sections
when they went for the C-section, I was actually, because I had such a good relationship with the vet and I was, I had a lot of dogs. I was asked, hey, can I be there and help assist? And they're like, yeah. So I'd gown up and I'd be there. And nice. After a while, it was great. But the first time you see your dog, like, and they cut her open and like they pull and they move all of the organs and the stomach and everything on the outside so they can get to, and you're like, oh my God, I raised this thing for years. And it's just, wow. But then they cut the sack open, take the puppies out, and you got to, give them, some rubbing and try to get them moving again, because the anesthesia. Yeah, she was an amazing nurse. Anesthesia. Nice. It would put the dog down, but it also affect the puppies because it was in the mom. Yep. And you'd have to revive them. And the first 2 times were great, and then we had a whole bunch of puppies that came out that we just couldn't get alive.
Oh man!
And it's just too much, or just they were in there long enough, or it was just and you're like, oh my God, and it's tough, but you learn a lot. But at the same time too, you see behind the scenes, like, hey, not every dog that makes it is alive. Like, that. Wow.
I know what you mean.
Not every dog that makes it is alive.
It's alive.
They made it, fucking Billy. But yeah, it's like you just go and you go see puppies. Like, wow, you don't know what went into those puppies and how many puppies passed away or didn't make it. And I got a lot of behind the scenes, and even then, I would go back and I would give them the what's it called now? What's the first sort of stuff that you give the dog?
Oxytocin?
Nope.
Or what?
It's been forever.
For what were you talking about when you give them? For,
I guess it's a dewormer.
The dewormer, okay.
I think it's a dewormer that you give them at this thing. It's a special name for it. And then I would, instead of bringing them to the vet, I would know how to dose. I would weigh them and dose and do that. And then we take the dew claws off the animal. So I learned how to cut them off and then do a couple stitches. So I would do a lot of that. So I really got hands on.
Oh, nice.
And, seeing the stuff that you have to do. People just go to pick up a puppy. Oh, hey, here you go. Oh, it's $1,500. Will you take 12? No, like, do you know exactly like the amount of work to raise a puppy, to do this, to get everything done? Panicure. Bam, that's it.
Yeah, panicure.
I just remembered it. Good. So panicure, I believe it's called. The amount of work that went into this, and me being in there behind the scenes and getting these dogs and trying to revive them, and then raising them and getting them on the mom's milk and shooting them and giving them all their doses and their shots and everything behind the scenes. It's like, holy fuck, like it's a lot of work, and now in the snakes, it's the same sort of thing. Oh, why is it 7,500? Well, because I put 7 years in to try to fucking make the thing. It's not like, wow. I mean, you try doing it. If you don't want to pay 7,500, go fucking make it yourself and find out. 12 years later, you should have bought it for 7,500 or whatever the fuck I was asking. But being so hands-on, I learned a lot, and that's why I had so many businesses, is because I get bored fast. Like, wow, this is great. I'm making great money, but I do the same shit. Nothing's exciting. It's, at least here, I can create animals or create ingredients in animals that I may never even see the results in my time, but it's exciting. Everything's different. The amount of people I get to meet and do what I do, it's always different. And I can keep growing. I don't have a plateau where, you're at the top and you can't go any higher. That's one reason why I love this business and hobby, is because it's the more work and the harder I go and the more I put in and the more I dream, I'm fucking getting there and I'm going there and I'm in that path. And the only one that's going to fail me is me.
Right. And see, and the goal, and like with the amount of snakes I have right now, and I'm sure you can attest to that too. Like when my son gets here in May, I can have him doing all the mundane things that that gets on my nerves. You know what I mean? But I'm still gonna be throwing rats in there and doing the feedings and then like taking care of the emails and boxing stuff up. But some of like the smaller stuff here and there, I'll have him doing. So
Yep.
so he thinks he's coming to California to be the Fresh Prince. He's got another he's gonna be so mad, bro.
Wow.
So yeah, so I just kind of that's what I do, you know, like about that. I can kind of still get to the point where I still have to do the important stuff and stuff that I enjoy. Like I still enjoy feeding, like every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just well, even if some they do frozen or pre-killed or whatever or live, I still enjoy feeding my animals. And I have so many different personalities in these racks that it's never a smooth
100%.
transaction.
Yep.
If I pull like one of these drawers out now, this normal's gonna fly out and hit the screen, and then I'm look like a damn punk on the internet screaming. So we're not gonna do that. So
Yeah, no, it is everyone. There's some animals that like it can take a medium, but you put a medium in it, it freaks out. But you put a small, it'll eat 3.
Yep.
What's wrong with you, dude? Like you're a 4,000 gram female, and you put a medium rat in, and they freak out. But you have to know, if I want her to grow, I have to feed her 2 or 3 smalls, and she takes them no problem. But you put a medium in, nope. And then there's other ones. It's the color. You put a white one in, you put a brown or a black one. They eat them all the time.
Yeah,
you gotta watch and your collection. It's weird. They all have their different personalities.
So I had to do that with a lot of my breeder males. Like once they get into breeder mode, they would eat a certain size. Like if I have 600-700 gram males, I'm feeding weans. Like for some reason, I was breeding season, so they don't care about food anyway. But I figured out a little trick with that is every time I pull them off a female, I give them what I call a doggy treat. I give them like a rat pup or something like that. And if I pull them away from a female, put them in their tub, give them a rat pup, they'll eat it. Give them a couple of days, start tying again, and bring them down to eat again. So they're still growing throughout the year now, but not going off of food. So like the hurricane head clown, I give him I call Scooby snacks, and he takes it like that too, but won't touch an appropriate size meal ever. So
yeah, it's funny little tricks like that. So it works for some, and then others you're like, fuck, come on,
It works out too, and then And then the ones like I've been on every interview talking about now, they're like, okay, what breeding are you anticipating right now? And I'm like, oh yeah, the red stripe head pod female is going to the clown pod, and she doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want to breed. It's always. I mean, these plans like now I have backups to the backups to the backups because it's ridiculous, man. And a big thing I learned the past couple of seasons too is just having this one male to get to these projects. If you don't have like an understudy, like the guys in the moving company who it was time to wake up and it's time to come move some shit.
Yep.
And they're like, man, I'm hungover last night. Some of these snakes are acting like that, man. This yellow belly desert ghost, he was supposed to do some work this year. And I put him in there with a female and he's at the other end. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, what the fuck is this?
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, it's just trial and error.
So
I've had some animals and it's funny because it's always the ones you really like, oh my God, and it's like, why? Like, you're doing this? Like, what did I do? Like, it's like, what did I do to you to treat me like this? But you just keep doing it. And I've had a male didn't breed for 2 years, and now he you just open the tub, he's throwing his hemipenes out. It's like, what the hell, dude? Why now?
Chad jumped.
I mean, I'm so happy. I'd rather him breed
let's
now.
Hear a corny dad joke from a brown belt. Let's hear a corny dad joke from a brown belt. I don't know if you heard all of them yet, Chad. Let me know if you heard the monsoon one. Just hit yes or no, and then I'll say it. So yeah, how's everybody going? Yeah, man, the chat's jumping right now, man. Everybody's in here having a good time, man. So let me see how many we got in there now. We have 63. Oh shit! Look at y'all.
Awesome. Happy New Year, all.
I know, man. Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, last week with Reggie, I think we maxed out like 160 or something like that. Reggie's Urban Jungle.
Yep.
So
I know Reggie, man. He's he actually messaged me. He's awesome. We keep in touch.
Dude, we were in here acting a fucking fool. Like, It was nuts, man. So, oh man. Okay, shit. So did he? Probably forgot to bring it on.
Probably heard it. Probably.
All right.
Bring it.
I was talking about my Jamaican friend that's a ball python breeder, man, and all he has is Codom stuff. And I said, man, when are you gonna get in some recessions, bro? He goes, monsoon.
Oh. Oh my God. Monsoon.
Who's it? Don't unfriend me, Chad.
No, it's pretty good. I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, man. Oh my God.
Oh, I can't. Dude, my kids have to deal with this shit every day.
Oh, damn.
Scales from the crib said, I have a funny joke. Chad doesn't EAD.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, I'm when I head back east, I'm gonna go train with Chad because he's a fellow martial artist too. So we're gonna get some jiu-jitsu rounds in. So so we're gonna do that, and hopefully he doesn't strangle me on Instagram live because I think I outrank him. So but,
yeah, that's one thing, man. I mean, I never really got into the grappling, or we had that. So I ended up doing Thai boxing. So, you know, standing, you know, I learned to box. I learned to, you know, kick with my legs and block and defend. And I mean, wow. And then you saw the guys that would come in and grapple and stuff. It's like, fuck those guys that knock one kick to the fucking head. When you go and throw that kick and they duck and they grab you and bring you to the ground, they throw you around like a fucking rag ball. They don't give a fuck how big and strong you think you are on your feet. And you're on the fucking ground. It is a whole different world. You're spinning around and fucking flopping arms like what? Like they manipulate you like you're a puppet. It's crazy. And wow. And it's not something you can learn overnight. It is a skill. And wow, Jesus. And you know, I see little guys going in there and just it's man, it is definitely a skill.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean,
thanks, Redwood, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching last week.
Oh,
yeah, dude, if I can go back instead of starting with karate and boxing and Muay Thai, I probably would have done jiu-jitsu first, just because, it's taxing on the body. But man, I've had so many concussions, bro. Like, you know, I've had my head rocked. Like, I know for a fact I'm gonna get dementia, man, when I'm older. Like, I can talk about stuff like when I competed in like 1999, but I have no idea what I had for dinner last night.
Yeah, I mean, it does take a toll, and it's funny because unless you actually, even in a ring, even with gloves on, you're moving around. You know, you get hit in that nice little spot. I mean, you fall. I mean, it's your body just drops. Kidney shots. The
liver shots, man. When you're wide awake and there's nothing you can do about it, you know?
Yeah, it's just like you sit there and you move and he just gets around you the right way and bam, and next thing you know, your legs give out and you're just on the ground. It's crazy. And it's usually the small guys too. They're so fucking quick, you know?
I forgot to tell you guys too. If you guys wasn't in last week, Redwood, he won the Asphalt Pied Male. So
of course he did.
So
everything.
Didn't he win the Dreamsicle too, right? He won the Dreamsicle?
Yeah.
so I'm actually gonna
he's won like 12 fucking things. Like he should be barred.
Yeah, so I'm actually I'm gonna bring it to his house personally, and then we're gonna do a bunch of videos there. So I'm actually gonna pack the guy up and drive over there and do some videos with him and hang out and act up, want a shitload of stuff. They keep flagging Chad stuff because he keeps putting shitload and ass and buttholes in the chat. Stop putting buttholes in the chat, Chad.
Chad, come on.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that, man. They got a lot of stuff coming up too, and I wanted to announce we're doing a new raffle coming up. I think I'm gonna post it tonight. We're actually going to raffle off a whole media kit. So like the Canon M50 camera with the stand and the mic set. And and it comes with the like the extra wide lens cover too. So we're going to do that. And hopefully somebody can win that for $25. And
or just give it to Andrew, fucking send it to Andrew now.
Yeah, send it to Andrew now.
Fucking ship.
For real. So he's going to do one entry and win this whole media kit. So And it'd be cool too, because I know a lot of people saying that they want to start a YouTube channel this week. So I mean, this year. So I mean, they can have all the stuff right away, super easy, you know. So so that'd be nuts, man. And then what else we got going on? Yeah, we still doing a giveaway with the Inchy Asphalt Het Pied mail. So when I hit 3,000 subs on here and 3,000 followers on Instagram, hopefully that should be like at this pace, maybe like in the next month. So I'm excited to kind of pick the winner for that. And then we still got the big on the ultrasound giveaway. So at 5 for 5. So, I mean, that's just going to be nuts, man. So we can get that in the middle of someone's breeding season, man, and I help them get their stuff together real fast. Like, I'm real excited about that, man. So, speaking of ultrasound, what you started yours this week, right?
Yeah, we ultrasounded 400 females in the last week, and I think we got about 70 that are building. So some are farther ahead than others. So it's starting.
So what's your system as far as keeping track of the females? You mark them on the tubs? You have like a chart or a book or like a database where you put everything in? How do you keep track of those?
I'm eventually going to be working with an app.
Okay.
And then I'll let everybody know once I utilize it and use it, and if I like it or not. But right now, we just go through. If the female has, 1.5 centimeters and up, mark it with a yellow tab. And that way we go through them all. And if anything's close, so I don't really even put my male in till they're about 1.5, 1.7 centimeters. So
that's the same thing as 15 millimeters, people, for those of you who see confusion. People doing it that, like the last time we talked about that on one of your podcasts, they were like, I'm like, dude, he's still using metric and you're bitching about the metric.
Yeah.
Just move the decimal point, you fuckers.
Yeah. Move it like 1 over. So
yep.
1.5 centimeters is like, 15 millimeters.
Yep.
So, so what I end up doing is anything that's close or that's going to be like that in the next, week. So 1.5 and up, I'll put a yellow marker. If they don't have any follicles or very small, I just leave it blank. Yeah. And then I continue to do that every 3 weeks or a month. And then some that have nothing on it will actually end up starting to build, and we'll put another yellow marker on it. And then once we start getting eggs, then we just change the yellow to black. So that way we sort of know what's going on. Once they're black and have eggs, we don't bother ultrasounding them, obviously. And then we just continue to go through the yellow, and then we go through the ones that have no tag. So eventually, later in the season, you got a lot of blacks that don't need to be ultrasounded, and you have some that most of them should be yellow. Hopefully. And then you just keep rotating and just, at the end of the year, you should have you'd want anyways, a whole bunch of your ones that have laid or have black with eggs and very few yellow.
So, well, my system, I just write their size on marker and I just remember to watch. And then once I get eggs, I put the little egg marker. And I was surprised this year because I had some my first time male this year. These are Asphalt Het Lavender. I was like, let me just stick them to these lavender projects and see what happens. And tied once, and then I just happened to ultrasound, and Shorty had 30 millimeters 3 weeks later. And I'm like, and she didn't go last year, so I'm like, all right, we're gonna get into the Asphalt Lavender project this year early. So
great excited,
man, for real, bro. And then I put him to some of my visual pied females just so I can have some more asphalt hets to bring up because I'm trying to hit the super asphalt, super inchy pieds next year. So, but with those males and him being head lav, when I keep back all the females, I've been trying to hit dreamsicles for 4 years and missed. Now I'm going to hit them by accident because I don't care about them anymore. So if I could get super inchy, super asphalt dreamsicles by accident, I mean, I'm not going to be mad, I'll take it. But, all the females will be possible head pied. So don't be hitting me up about no damn these asphalts and stuff like last time and fucking getting rid of most.
Jeez.
I'm not even, if I hit the Asphalt Lavender, bro, I'm not even showing it. I'm just like, all right, yeah, man, I did something. Fuck, man. So
I'm really happy in that project. I don't think my male is gonna go this year. So this year I actually hit a super inchy, super asphalt lavender, and it's a male, and it's incredible. I don't think he's going to go this year. I'm not even going to bother pushing him, but next year he will. But his dad, I'm going to do the same pairing. And I'm also going to push it into more my lavender stuff, into more yellow belly and asphalt for down the road, because Justin hitting the Enchi freeway lavender.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I was, out of that, Justin and Miguel were the only two that got males from that clutch back in 2018. And Miguel missed, unfortunately, but he still made a pretty awesome bunch of animals for the future. Seeing what Justin did with that, I was going that way anyways, but then seeing an Enchi in the freeway and then the lavender to pop it, like, wow. So happy, man. I mean, so much to do with that.
Yeah, I was glad I got to see the Asphalt Lavender in person when I went over there last time, because just sometimes just with the color messes you up and the flaming, but even with the asphalt, it looks like, even like the outline of the alien heads looks so much brighter. It just, the way it just pops like in person. I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna really, because that's what I was worried about. You know what I mean? Just like accidentally selling the lavender and it's an asphalt.
It's
and they're like, what the fuck?
Things. Yeah, possible this, possible that. If it's a female, something like that, I'd just rather just hold it back, because
for
you
real.
can't go wrong either if it doesn't prove out or not. Especially if it's another like het pied or something like that, then it's definitely not going anywhere. Lavender, het pied, possible asphalt.
Yeah, definitely keep those, man. So, and then, like I said, in most of those clutches too, I'll have like 2 or 3 males back too, and they'll just be sitting in the winds just in case, you know what I mean, growing up. And then when I do start breeding them, hey, you got bigger males, you can kind of move on for a little bit more money than you had them as hatchlings, So, what I did start doing this year, and I wanted to see if you thought about that too, as far as keeping track of finance of the animals. Do you know for you how much it costs to raise an animal up from a hatchling to an adult, for like a female, for example, for 2 years? Roundabout?
I always, so the way I get my rats, and I basically figure it's going to cost me, they're going to eat 50 weeks out of the year.
Right.
So out of the 50 weeks, I'm going to say the very first year is hatchlings. And then raising them up even during breeding. So I started around $1 for the fuzzies. And then I go up to say $3 for the mediums. So in between you got smalls, this and that. So I just averaged them all off at $2 a year. So 2 times 150 is basically $300 a year per female. So if you have her for 2 years and you breed her, $600.
Why are you paying $3 for? Is that $3 Canadian? Is that like $1.80 or something? Or what? That's a lot.
I think it's $2.60 Canadian plus tax. So $3 per medium rat.
Holy shit, bro! You need to keep that other building and make that a rat facility.
I'd rather no, because I mean, even still, like I get a couple thousand rodents dropped off every week.
That is insane.
They're sitting there for like an hour. And after an hour, I'm like, holy fuck, turn wow. And that's just fucking in the facility for an hour. And
nuts,
I got movement, and no, I can't. And plus, I don't want to concentrate or have. That's another business where I would start and I would hate. There's nothing for me to love. There's not. I'm not going to fall in love. Oh, look at the tries or the Dumbos or the hairless. And wow, let me try. No, I'm not going to fucking do that. I got too much work and other stuff that I want to do. So that would be, oh, cool. I'm going to save some money, do it. And then I'm like, fuck, I want nothing to do with this. I hate this. Wow, blah, blah, blah. And then I got to rely on other people. And it's going to be like the moving business. I'm going to turn around. Oh, no one showed up. Oh, fuck. I got all this thing. And you know what? I told all my other, people that were giving me the rodents, I don't need you anymore. Now I need them back. They're like, fuck you, Billy, or they're charging me 30 cents more on it. No, I'm happy with the relationships that I've got.
That's cool, man. And that's
something I don't want to do. And it is my most, I mean, right now, I'm over, I think the last couple months, I'm averaging 12,000 a month for rats. So it is probably the biggest expense I have. It's crazy. Yeah. So I'm 6 figures a year buying rat.
Holy crap.
But, I'm making the money in order to I'm making way more than that.
Right.
So it's that. And plus, if you think, oh, what am I really going to save on that 100,000 or 120,000?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could probably, and get all the rats, do this, set it all up. Hopefully there's no problems. I get everything smooth and running. And after 6 months to a year, I got a nice flow going and I'm saving 40 grand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then it takes away the convenience too, because I have the space to do it too, and I just don't want to. I have a guy who drives an hour and a half one way and drops my stuff off, and some of the residual stuff here I sell to some of the local people because there's no pet store here, but I can do that and still make a little bit of scratch here without having to clean up rat shit all the time. You know what I mean?
I really don't have enough time to eat. Like, I mean, I want more time now to do what I'm doing now, to get better at what I'm doing and be more efficient and do more for what I'm doing already. Never mind throw something else that I hear that I know I'm not going to like. I know isn't going to have, I'm not going to have any passion for it. And on top of that, it's more fucking work than the fucking snakes. What? I put work already. Why do I want to put like a whole shitload on top? Hell that. You know what? I'll bust my ass making money and paying those people that sacrifice and do what they do and work hard, and I'll pay them what they need. So to me, I can save money or fucking work harder at what I love to do and make money and then pass that money off to somebody else that does what they do. Why be greedy and have it all? I mean, I don't have the time. It's too much. And I know that, and I don't want to make that mistake.
Jerome in the super chat said, I should just give him the media kit since I keep begging him to start a YouTube channel. Dude, I went to his house, man, and we did the facility tour there and checked out. Dude, he has some fucking fire, man. And I'm telling you, I was like, dude, it's super simple. Like I was always worried about just starting a YouTube channel, and it's like, oh, I don't have studio quality stuff. I don't have a sound guy, and I don't have all this shit too. And then, your first couple of videos, they're gonna suck. You're gonna do the camera the wrong way. Yeah, and it's gonna look grainy and stuff too. And Chad, I just talked to him about that a couple months ago about fixing his camera. So he's got that down packed now and fixed. So shout out to my guy Chad. But yeah, Jerome, man, has some fire at the facility, man. I'm like, dude, just get it out there, Like there's a lot of people, especially like on Facebook, there's a lot of breeders who've been around for a while who kind of talk down on the YouTube breeders, whatever. And they'll throw shots at me all the time and kind of, just kind of poking fun. But there's always a little bit of seriousness when it comes to jokes too. And then like one of the same guys I was going back and forth about, me being a YouTuber, he goes, well, you don't have anything on Morphmarket. I'm like, well, bitch, I sold them all. Like all the stuff that I wanted to trade for stuff and sell off from everything I had last year, I held back when I wanted to hold back, and everything got sold. So that's why I don't have 10 pages of stuff on my damn Morphmarket. You crazy? So I mean,
I'm so busy. Like it's funny. I mean, I'm always like, I still have clutches in the incubator from last year. I'm hatching. We're cutting our monsoon clutch, the one that gave me 2 last year.
Oh man, already the repeat? It was the repeat from
wasn't the repeat. I used a different male.
Okay,
but 100% het to 100% het.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm I got 7 eggs. So hopefully 1 in 4. So I hopefully hit 2 again.
Man.
So that'll be cutting that middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be good.
Cool.
Happy there. So, but I still have, like, I've got a few animals up on Morphmarket, but I probably have another 200 to put up. I just haven't had time to take pictures and go through. Had some of the people, Chris Ward came by today and said, oh my God, I'll take this. Is this for sale? Shit, how many banana pied females you have? I'm like 7 or so. He's like, holy fuck, okay, I'll take one of those. And went,
nice.
took these and one of those. And Catherine as well. Like looking, she's like, hey, and one of these for sale. And I'm like, it could be. Let me see. And she's got a list of stuff I got to look over to see what I have. And, she's buying some good stuff. And it's the stuff that I really want to keep back, which is good. And it's like that. If you're shopping and you're buying stuff that's not really, that people don't want to sell, that's the stuff you want to buy.
Yeah.
But I just got to look to see what I have in my racks. And he was like, hey, what about this Asphalt Yellow Belly Ghost female? And I'm like, I'm not sure. And he's like, well, I think you got like 4 or 5 of them. I'm like, okay, then you can have one. Like, I don't even know what I've got. I haven't had time to go through it. And then once I have time to go through and know what's a holdback, then everything else is going to be listed and priced and photographed and put up on Morphmarket. But I'll probably have that done in the next couple of weeks, end of the month.
So so somebody had a real good question on Instagram in my DMs, and it was something that I addressed, like, I think maybe last year, just because I was traveling so much and I'm kind of morbid and stuff too. So in the event that something happens to me while I'm away for the fights, or like the plan is to go to Abu Dhabi in a couple of weeks for the UFC, like I'm trying to weasel my way into that. So I have a plan where if something happens to me, there's a list and phone numbers of who should be contacted and what's next to go to what people. You know, like, do you have a contingency plan as far as that goes? If something unfortunate were to happen, like what happens with the facility and things like that? Or
actually, you know what? It's a very good question. And you know what? I don't think many people, even myself, have really thought that far, because you know, shit happens, and you know, actually unexpected. Like, you know, just with COVID, like, did anybody ever expect like we were going to be in the movie Contagion? Like, come on, we're fucking living it. It's crazy watching a movie like, oh yeah, that'll never fucking happen. Yeah, 2020, it happened. Fucking nuts. So anything can happen, and yeah, you know what? I don't. It's funny because I'm eventually giving a part of the company to Austin, so he'll be on paper and stuff like that, but if anything happened to me tomorrow, there's nothing. I mean, you know, it's all on my computer. I mean, you know, I guess I should tell him if something happens to me, take my finger off first so that you can at least access my phone, because it's all, you know, fingerprint ID. But yeah, I mean, I don't, and I should. It's something that, you know, I'm gonna even write that down right now.
And it's not because a lot of people that I talked to about it were just like, well, I'm dead, I don't give a fuck. I mean, but like, you don't want to inconvenience people, you know what
Correct.
I mean?
No, 100%. Like, I mean, it's I mean, that's why I'm putting it right here, right now, to write it down, because it's something that I don't have. And I'm in the alarm business, where I was. You know, when people buy their first alarm
after something already happens,
and then they get fucking robbed. Yeah.
When they,
you know, and they never get robbed again. You know, or, you know, the chances of it goes way down. Yeah. You know, I don't want to be in a hospital or something, or dead, and all of a sudden, you know, people are, I mean, I built Mutation Creation, and I love it. And it's my, you know, everything I do, and I'm proud of it. And I don't want to have, oh, he died, you know, but I still got fucked out of my money. Yeah. I don't want to have that, where if something happens, those animals should be, you know, here's something, or a drive. I'm definitely going to look into something like that. But as far as my animals and my collection, I know that Austin and the guys will be running it, you know, or you know, now they'll own it. I'll have something in for my family also. But I think with what I've built and what we've done together as a team, even without me, it'll suck. But I'm sure, you know, they're the new breed. They're young. They've got the skills. You know, they're doing like a Lord of Lion, man. My videos, I mean, I don't make the videos. He makes the videos. Like I'm just in it, you know, like watching his videos even before I started doing. Oh, I mean, like, this guy's fucking awesome. So we all have something that's a fit. And if anything did happen, I'm sure that they could, you know, they'd have to fucking, you know, put a little more work in. I'm sure that, they could still turn it and do what they got to do. It'll be a big change from what they're used to, but I'm sure they get through it. There might be some rough patches, but I'm definitely sure, you know, Mutation Creation would still continue after I'm gone. And I'm sure that they would, you know, have the same sort of belief system and run it the way I do, and you know, be the way and the quality of animals and the care and the customers and hopefully keep helping. And I know that because Austin answers a lot of emails for people. I can't. So, you know, teaching and helping other people, he's already doing it. He has been doing it. So I think that would carry on as well.
Yeah, man. Sorry to get morbid on you guys in the chats, man. I know it's it's some sad talk, but it's some real talk though, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean
The only reason why I'm not crying is because I'm on live. I'm so fucking soft, dude. I'm sitting there when we hang up, I'm like, oh. So I mean, even with the whole COVID stuff, man, sometimes like I'll have a nasty cough for a few days and then go get tested, and then I'll like run back to the snake room and clean the fuck out of it. So you're not gonna fucking find me dead. It'll be like, oh, it's snakes. Over there, like, nope. Fucking, you know, just like when you were a kid and you weren't supposed to go out in the house with dirty drawers on. Because you never know, man. You know, so it's just freaking nuts, man. So I just, but I'm glad they asked that question because like I thought about it a lot too, but I never like brought it up to a lot of people. So this is a real conversation.
I mean, it's something that, you know what, I'm sort of glad because it's something that you should like. What if? I mean, shit happens. We know that all the time. You know, it happens, and if you're not prepared, it's not good to be not prepared. You know, it's something where I should have something in play where at least everybody knows what's what or what to do, or at least a game plan. Here's what I want. Here's my wishes. Do what you got to do, but try to, you know, keep this going. I don't want it. I don't want all the work, 18, 19 years of what I've done and what I love and what I want to do until the day I die, whether something happens to me or not. I want to keep growing this business. I want to keep loving it and making these animals and seeing some of the stuff that, you know, I was creating for those projects. And it's smart because what happens to those people that have stuff that, you know, who has access to this? All the accounts, where does the money go? You know, who's paying for what and how, you know, hey man, there's no money to pay the rent. Well, the landlord doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, well, Billy's got all this money in the bank, but he's dead. Well, I don't give a fuck. I want my money, but we can't have access to it.
Yeah,
I want my money. Guess what? Now they're moving. It's definitely something I got to think of. And you know what? I'm actually glad you brought it up, even though it is, you know, it's not a great topic, but it's a topic that, you know, shit, it happens.
Yeah, like imagine you doing like a package deal with somebody, and you send $20,000 to someone, and then you don't hear from them for a few weeks, and then their spouse is like, "Oh yeah, sadly they passed away." And like, at what point do you go, "Oh man, that's crazy. Where's my money?" Or "Oh man, like,
like I know, loss. You know, it sucks, but I'm not taking a loss too for $20K.
Yeah, you know, sorry for your loss, but either give me my snakes or like
give me another loss. Like,
you know, so it's
crazy.
It's just that's just weird, man. I'm just you know, but I mean, at least we don't have to worry about it if it's one of us. But that's the fucked up part, though. I just don't want to leave like that, especially they're already going through an emotional workload already, having to deal with like, you know, planning everything, you know, as far as the repass and things like that. The last thing I want somebody to have to deal with, like my mom come to California and pull some snakes out of some tubs and go, this one has some label. This is who is Jerkindle Joyner, or like screwing up everybody's names and shit. Shout out to Sick with it. What's up, big dog? I see you in there, man. You know, so yeah, but that's a dope question, man. So
I mean, I've never even thought of that, and I've never even you know, had anybody even bring that up. And I mean, it's great because it's, you know, I keep learning new things from people, you know, and it's not like Billy learned everything himself. I learned a lot from many people, and I hope I still do. Just like I bring it up all the time. When I had that package arrive and they were frozen. Oh, let's put them in the incubator. And then, you know, sometime through it, I'm like, hold on, is that going to warm them up too fast? Is that good? And I didn't know. And I'm like, and then people reached out, and I didn't say, well, who are you? Are you qualified? How many snakes you? I didn't, you know, see who they were. I'm like,
that and stuff. Yep.
Oh, wow. Oh, hey, you know what? Don't warm them up too fast. Leave them at room temperature overnight. Then I had guys like Wilma Rose from Royal Canadian Reptiles reach out to me, and a few other people called and messaged. I'm not going to say, well, you know what? I think I know better. No, I don't fucking know. I'm going to listen and see what what people were telling me, and it makes sense. So I did it. And guess what? They're doing very well. I looked at one of the two that was really had a little neural issues, and was there as well, and it's getting fucking better. with time, and we're really leaving them alone.
Right.
Everyone has ate. I fed them.
Good. That's my next question. Yeah.
Yeah, I fed them a pup, even though they could probably take a bigger wean. I don't want to, it's a slow thing. I'm not in a rush. I just want to, do what's best for them. But they're taking it. They're eating. They're getting better. And now that being in that position where if you told me that snake was going to live, I'd be like, you're fucking kidding me. Like I'd put money on it. Like it was frozen. Like if I threw it against the wall, it would shatter in glass. That's how I felt. That's how hard it was and frozen, lifeless, not moving. I cannot believe, it happened in front of my eyes, and then they're still living, and it's incredible. I don't wish anybody to ever go through that, and especially the animals as well. But I learned, and I want to continue to learn in this hobby and industry and business. I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to do. And, I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've learned a lot by myself and through myself, but jumping into lives and stuff. And here's a question I never even thought of or even had asked in all my time. And you're the guy that brought that up to me. So,
some of my biggest fears as an entrepreneur, a lot of people that's breeding right now, eventually, I know, well, not all of them, but most of them want to do it full time and things like that. But aside from sending off a DOA snake or a sick snake or a missed-sex snake, like industry wise, my biggest fear is to do it full time. This is what I need to do now. This is what's paying the bills. I need to get on that though. So at what point finally did you go, so was it like a snake amount? Was it just a fact that you wanted to put your focus more towards it? Or was it like a monetary number you wanted to reach? Or what made you finally decide to pull the trigger on that?
Well, I could have done it a few years ago. I live a high lifestyle. I have, big home, lots of cars, insurance. I like to spend money. I like the best of the best. I've always been like that, what's that thing? Something on a beer salary.
I know, so I forget.
Yeah. So, I've always, living like a rock star, no, not living like a rock star on a beer salary, but whatever. There's a saying. But I've always wanted the best. I work hard, yeah, I can get this, but if I work harder, I can get that. And I'm always trying to live above my means, right? Because it just pushes you. It's not always a good thing to do, but I've always been like that. Just push, grind, get it done, do what you got to do. But with the other company that I had, I actually enjoyed it. I had all the Costco's in Ontario pretty much. I've been doing them for 9 years. I'm good at it. I'm so used to it. I pretty much designed the entire system for the place. So, I mean, people out west, when they're doing the ones out in Alberta and stuff like that, they'll call me and say, hey, Billy, and I troubleshoot them through it because I'm pretty much the one that started it from day one. And it's like second nature to me because I've done it over and over and over again. It's just easy for me and I love it and I take pride in it.
Champagne taste on a beer budget.
That's it.
Redwood, good job.
Yeah. Champagne taste on a beer budget. It's always how it's been. And I think that last year, I mean, I wanted to turn this into a business. That's why I keep growing and growing. But one thing about having a business is especially growing in this hobby or this business, the more you put in to it, the more you're going to get out. So the more money you have now to buy snakes to grow up, the more animals you're going to have to hold back and sell to make more money. The more you have now, later, the more you will have then. So if I'm sitting there and I got $20,000 that I have to take out to pay my bills, well, that $20,000 could turn into $50,000 in 3 years that I'm not going to have now.
Right.
So being in where I was, where I can pick my own hours, I have guys that go in and do most of my work. Plus the fact that, I think I was averaging about $200+ an hour. And most of the time I'm just sitting there on a computer telling my guys how to do it. Wow. It was hard to give up. But I know I wanted to turn this into a full-time business. And that's why I keep growing the way I have. But this year, I think COVID did it where it's like, when I came back from my trip, COVID was here. I came back on the 13th of March from Colombia, and you know, it was just crazy, you know, the news. And I think by then I would go into the shop more. So instead of going to work or doing whatever, I'd be at the shop 8 hours a day. And I would see how the guys are working and being a part of it and knowing, oh my God, this is so cramped. And, oh, you know, I wish this was different, because I'm putting more time in every day and seeing the daily operation of it, not just me coming in after 9-10 hours of my other job, coming in and Austin's there for a half an hour, see you guys. Or sometimes I'd miss them and I'd come in and just hang out by myself. So I got to saw a lot of stuff that I wanted. And I just figured, you know what, I didn't want to get back into that, you know, being at the facility all the time and knowing that I wanted all these changes and seeing how, you know, my sales were still doing well. I'm like, you know what, I want to be here more. I don't want to wake up and go to Costco at 4 a.m. and work until noon. I don't want to, you know, I don't have nights and days. And because when I would go do that, I'd work sometimes 10, 12, 16 hours and come to the facility for 3 or 4 hours. And then I'd go home and sleep for 4 or 5 hours and do the same thing again. Yeah. You know, I had better rest. I would wake up and I'm like, wow, you know, I would rather do this than have to do that, even though I enjoyed it and I was paid very well. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And then I started concentrating on Patreon again, because I wanted to do this and put more effort in. And with all the work that I have and doing this, and now the podcast and now moving, 2021, that you're going to see a lot of stuff out of Mutation Creation, a lot of stuff for Patreon. Even our videos for YouTube are going to be different. There's going to be more to it. You know, a whole change. I want a whole sort of 360, 180, whatever, you know, to be better, to do things better. I think the creativity now that we have with you know, doing something with myself, Austin, Lord of Lion, and now Catherine, and even, you know, the Reptile Ward, Chris and Nick, they're still a part of, you know, at least the team. Chris on the podcast. I know if I ever needed, hey guys, I need some help this week, or, you know, they'd be fucking there in a heartbeat. They always have been for years. So I think with all of us, and the same goal is to be in the community, to help people, to give people inspiration, to keep growing. Like Chris's collection, even Lord of Lions now, and even Austin's, it's growing. It's getting better. They're going to see what they can do. So this year I said, you know what, I'm just going to do this, concentrate on that. The amount of money that's coming in from the other revenues and you know, social media plus my sales, I'm like, you know what, I don't have to spend as much money as I'm doing now, and I can sort of live a little bit, you know, beneath the way I used to, because I should be here anyways, and I'm living up here. You know, I can settle here, man. Like, you know,
yeah,
you know, or I can splurge here and drop down here, and, you know, just fucking, you know, keep it moving in between there and there. But the more you can put in and not take out. So if you sell, say, $10,000 worth of snakes, and you got to take out $8,000 to pay your bills, well, now you got $2,000. You can't really buy or like,
you can't enjoy your life like you want to.
Yeah. So to me, I mean, I've been doing 6 figures for a while, high 6 figures. I think next year I can probably break 7. So that being said, you know, my rat bills are, you know, 100, 120K. My, you know, my facility now, staff, you know, there's a lot of expenses. So when you sit there and you see someone selling a $10,000 snake, cool. But you don't know what's behind that $10,000 snake. Right. If you hit one and, you know, 10 clutches died, or you don't really know. But all I know is from what I'm doing, the more I spend, the more I'm making and creating and selling in the future. And I've never invested money in an animal and years later go, fuck, I wish I didn't invest in that, because you're making something, you know, as long as it's breeding, you know, you're going to make money.
Them damn deserts, man. Oh.
You know, but hey, you know what? The deserts. So here's the thing. I bought my first desert male at 7,000 or 8,000, and I bred it. I was the second in Canada to make like desert pins. What else? Desert Mojaves. and everything that I made, pastel deserts. I mean, I made a lot. And before we knew anything, I was selling them. I made 5-6 times my money off that male year one. You know, the very first year I bred them, I made 5 times my money. But then all the things I kept back, I'm like, wow, if those were around today, the stock that I would have and the 4, 5, 6 gene deserts and the desert pied, it'd be crazy what I would have. So I did lose out, but I didn't lose. I just lost out of what I could have now and the amazing combos that were going to be made, because it's just an incredible gene. It was like amazing, but I never lost. It's not like, oh my God, I'll never get that fucking $8,000 back.
Yeah. I had so many females ready to grow up, like ready to breed that season when everybody found out, and I was just like, oh my God. You know, but I mean, but there were projects that I got into early that I did well in. You know, I got a GHI male early, and he did his thing for years, and I sold him last year for $150 after I paid like almost $5,000 for him back then, you know, but he did what he had to do, and you know, he produced some cool stuff for me. It was just something I jumped on. So I mean, there's going to be hit and misses too. There's a lot of projects out there that's tanking right now that I'm not going to go into because I'll be fighting in the comments on another day for that. But we'll go to that. There's a project that's been around 7 years, almost like this month, and I still haven't seen the female on eggs yet. So
I know.
You know. So, and then people in my comments, I made the post on my story, and they're like, well, I seen blah, 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 male, his friend's cousin had a male locking, but no, I haven't seen the female on the eggs yet either. I'm just like, man, I've seen them under ultrasound and nothing. It's just a void. And I was like, is this a male? They're like, nah, it's a female. I'm like, let me see. Nah, it's a female. So
there's a lot of stuff out there that, you know, instead of just jumping in, because I get a lot of people saying, hey, should I get into this? Should I get into that? Well, what do you have? And then 99% of the people that are asking if they should get into it definitely shouldn't be getting into it, because you should have a strong base of what you have. I just recently got into Sunset now.
Right.
Okay. I got into puzzle a couple years ago. I'm sort of drifting away, but I still have a little, you know, bit of real estate in the puzzle game. But there's a lot of stuff I want to get into, but I'm not ready for it. You know, people are like, well, what do you mean you're not ready for it? You got all types of stuff. Yeah. And I'd probably do well with it. But you know what I do well with? Better stuff. Like my clown pied game is through the roof this year. My clown pied game this year and next year, and what I've done in the past and where I'm heading with it and the males I have, next level. My desert ghost and enhancer games through this year's going to be good. Next year, fucking off the charts. Why not invest in those that I love and make me stronger and get better results, stronger animals, better odds, than stay at the same odds I'm playing with now and move up slowly and then add another gene and try to, you know, I want to take this to a bigger game, You know what? I'll get into that later. But I honestly think if you are wondering if you should get into something, look at your collection and see if it's strong enough as it is. And if not, what do I need to add in? Oh, you know what? Maybe I should get some more of this into this pied. You know, maybe I should go and instead of spending this money, let me get some super stuff like super OD pied. Let me get one of those and that'll inject into all this stuff and I can put it into other stuff. That's smarter than trying to be, you know, having a little stake in 50 different genes. I'd rather be strong in 10 and keep adding to those 10 and eventually add a new one. And believe me, I've tried to do it all. Back in the day, I was buying anything just because I could. Let me get it. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with this? Well, why did I buy this? Well, that male doesn't make sense because I don't got any females for it. It's fucking cool, but you know, you got to think about it and be smart about your purchases and your direction.
So before we went live, I was talking to you about some I'll let everybody else know. I was saying that a lot of people that have like shows like this, like mine and yours and like MJ's and Snakes and the Fat Man, I think that like towards the end of the year, we got to get together and do like an award show, you know, like what the media considers like, you know, different superlatives for the year. So some of the categories I was thinking about too. So if you guys in the comments want to chime in too, I was thinking about kind of posting. I'm actually gonna do a video myself because I think it was kind of too late for everybody else to jump in, but I still want to see what a lot of people's inputs are. So like picking a morph of the year, like a snake that somebody created that kind of just you shared with everybody. Like you hit them up and like, hey man, you know what I mean? What you hit on that as far as the odds go, or you send them to all your friends through text message. Hey, look what such and such created. I mean, there's a snake out there that you probably obsessed about. Maybe you didn't make it. Maybe a bigger breeder didn't make it. It could be like anything. So morph of the year or however you want to put that. That's probably the main one. And then like the usual, like the breeder of the year, you know, what ball python breeder this year kind of really, you know, stepped it up a notch, you know, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like the same people, you know, because everybody that I talked to about it today said, oh, it's got to be Justin. I'm like, and then you look at everybody, all the other criteria they post, you're like, oh, you don't even watch anything else. That's all. You have this little fucking bubble, you know what I mean? So, and then like breakout breeder of the year, I was thinking doing that, like the person that was the overall, like he, you know, he started the YouTube, he killed it on social media, he's producing some dope stuff this year, even if it's their first or second year, like that person who you see all over the place, you know what I mean? Like I have my nomination for that and I already have him picked too. And so, and when I reveal him on Wednesday, you're gonna be like, oh no shit, he's right. You know, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, I'm not even mad at that, you know. So what else? Oh, the biggest moment this year, as far as like it could have been like something that hatched, or it could have been an interaction between breeders or something like that too. So I have an idea.
Physical altercation.
Yeah, yeah, yep. So it's definitely an online altercation that I'm. That's gonna be my moment of the year, even though it's a super late entry, and it's just so crazy, like the back and forth with that happen, and like even when you listen to like the original podcast where it stemmed from, I'm like, man, it really wasn't that bad when I heard it the first time, and then you go back and listen to it, you're like, oh shit, yeah, he did kind of throw some jabs at him, you know. So that was a pivotal moment this year too. You know, and there's a couple other things I want to throw in there. So I think what I want to do was that, huh?
Best facility?
That's the dopest facility. That'd be dope too. That'd be something to have in there.
Yeah, try it.
And then, you know, that'd be just crazy just to kind of have us like in like a big Zoom meeting or a StreamYard meeting, just going over stuff like that. And just kind of, because most of the people that have the shows, like I think we all mess with each other. You know, you've been on MJ's show.
Oh yeah,
with Snakes and the Fat Man and stuff like that too. And like I've been on Snakes and the Fat Man, and I've been on your show, and I'm going to be on MJ's and Snakes and the Fat Man this month. So I mean, that's a little shameless plug, but I'll be out there. So man, I'm just trying to do it, man, and it just like finally just having the courage to come out and put my face out there just helped me so much, you know. Like I was preaching about this for a lot of other people in the industry because I matchmake for MMA promotion too, and a lot of people said, you know, well, I don't want to fight for you guys because the president's a dick. They always said, I'm like, well, have you worked with him before? No, but I have a friend who's his coach's fighter was there and he had a bad experience. Oh, you mean he lost? Oh, well, yeah, that was not relevant. I'm like, yes, he was mad because he lost, because when you lose in a fight, you blame everybody but yourself, especially the amateur ranks. So I told him, I was like, look, man, you should definitely start doing like live things and podcasts and putting your face out there on YouTube and things like that so people can get to know you, who you are, because you don't just promote fights. You're like the second biggest sports management in the MMA. You know, like during the quarantine, he had like 89 fighters fighting during the quarantine. So because almost half the roster say, you know what, I have my parents at home, I have older people, I don't want to infect me, you know, so they use that as a way not to fight. So he has so many fighters fighting for the belt, you know, on every damn card and stuff too. And he just bought a place in Vegas, like a condo. He's like, man, I'm leaving California. Here, you can, if California opens up here, you can have a promotion. Here's the cage. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, I don't want to do that. You know, so but putting his face out there helped him a lot. And then once he started doing that, he goes, well, Antoine, you should listen to your own advice. You crazy. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, start your channel and do your stuff like that. And it helped, man. Like I got to the point where I was revealing clutches and they were sold, you know, before they even could be sold. You know what I mean? So yeah, it helps, man. So it's getting your face out there. And when you're comparing somebody like two people with the same exact thing that you're looking for, are you going to go with the guy a $6,000 animal from a guy you never heard of before, or a guy you see all the time that you think has more to lose now because he's definitely putting himself out there, making himself vulnerable, putting his reputation on the line every time he comes out with content and videos and spending money doing things like that. I seriously doubt somebody who just spent tens of thousands of dollars on equipment and production and making their channel pop are going to screw you over for $500. You know?
Yeah, and that's what I think. Even social media, like
Yeah,
when a lot of people say, well, I don't really want to start Instagram or anything like that because I haven't made anything. It won't be till next year.
right.
Like Precious Pythons.
Yep.
She hasn't produced anything, but look what she's done. But when she does produce, everyone knows. So, oh fuck, did you see what she made? Yeah, it's for sale. Have you heard of her? Who, you mean you haven't? Like, you know, she's already put in the groundwork for that, and that's what people need to do. You need to get out there and don't wait till you make something and then try to sit there, because then you're going to be like, yeah, no one wants to buy it. They've never heard of me. I'm not a big breeder. Yeah, but there's other small breeders that are selling their shit. You know why? Because people know who they are. They're involved in the community. They're putting content out there. They're sharing stuff. They're building a portfolio, or, you know, their Instagram and stuff like that. You need to get out there and start doing that now. Don't wait, because it's coming. You know,
right. So guys in the comments right now, so thinking of that too, the guys that don't have like a bigger reputation, how many of you right now can honestly say you can produce a $6,000 animal right now and sell it for $6,000? So just put yes or no in the comments and just see like you have the confidence to, or you think that you have the reputation to do that. And if you don't think you can right now, that means you need to step it up. You know what I mean? Like it's time, you know, because eventually you're going to make something that's worth that much. And you don't want to sell yourself short and sell it way below market value because people don't want to, you know. Corey said no. Said no.
Corey, come on. Like,
right. So, Corey can. Corey full of shit. You know, so.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If you have the right stuff. So here's the thing. I don't give a shit if anybody is, you know, it's your very first snake you ever made. If you have a desert ghost pied, and you have it for, I think they're what, 8K, 9K?
Yeah, around
you
that.
Put it up on Morphmarket for 8 or 9K, you will have 50 people messaging you within the first day. Now, how you go from there, they're going to ask like, hey, I don't know you. Who are you? Can I see your Instagram? They'll go to your Instagram and start following you, or not follow. Well, hopefully they follow you, but they will look. If you have a picture of a dog, you know, you holding a beer, and no snakes, they're probably going to go, this guy's a scam. But if you're out there and you look and you go to a page like Corey or Precious and go, oh, look, wow, look at, oh my God, she's got this. She's got a video. She's got this. Wow, you're going to feel comfortable.
Right.
And they're probably going to sit there and go, okay, you know what? Let me see some pictures of this, you know, put it in front of today's paper or put something, you know, a name. And you do that. They know you're real. Right. They'll probably sit there and go, okay, you know what? I want this animal that they seem legit. Let me reach out to a few other people. You know, and they reach out. Hey, how you doing? You know, have you heard of Corey Martin? Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah. You know, what about her? Oh well, she has this animal for $8,000 or $9,000. I haven't really heard much about her. I saw her Instagram. You know, she got some nice stuff, but it's a lot of money. I just want to get ripped off. Send your money now before it's sold, because someone else will buy it.
Right. Well, that's like right before I started in March, I sold an adult highway male because I was moving away from gravel and going to asphalt, so doing like freeway super asphalt stuff. And the guy messaged me. He goes, I don't have an iPhone, but I have Facebook. Can we like video chat on Facebook and you can show me the animal in your rack? I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. Yeah. I mean, I'm like this guy. So like he wanted like all this proof, and I'm like, but I understood why, you know, because like, you know, that, you know, I think I sold it for like $700 or something like that. That's someone's hard-earned cash. You know what I mean? So, and I kind of understood that. So that was really the little kick in the ass for me at that point, going, man, I don't want to have to like be FaceTiming some weirdo like during my life thing that probably won't even buy the animal, because I've done that a lot with people and they still hit me with the let me talk to my partner or let me speak to the wife shit or whatever.
You're always gonna get that shit ain't gonna go away. I mean, it's like that. And you got to think, when you start making high-end animals, they may not fly off the shelf. Okay? They will sell depending on, so say for example, most of this business, especially now when people invest all that they have into it, right, they're cash strapped. I've been there, you know, it's sort of like, it's like something that's almost like a requirement to get to where you're going, you know. You buy animals, you breed them, you're broke, you got enough to keep going. When your animals hatch and you sell them, wow, I got money now. Now I can go fucking shopping, you know? So
Yeah.
that's how it works. And I mean, I've been there. That's how I used to operate. And then, you know, it's like, well, this sucks. I got to wait. How do I make more money to do it so I don't have to wait? And then when I do wait, I can either sell it off and repay or just have more money. And you got to sort of do that to sort of, you know, get through that. But when people are not shopping is because they don't have money.
Right.
So you put an animal for say $6,000, it doesn't sell. A month later, doesn't sell. But now this guy just hatched out some shit. A month later, he feeds them. They're ready to ship. He ships them. Now he's got $20K. Cool. If that's $6,000 animal, something that he needs, and it's still there, he's got the money. It's sold. I had animals on my website for 6 months. And I'm like, fuck, these are powerhouses. Yeah, they were expensive.
Right.
They were fucking proven breeders. I'm like, what the fuck? What's wrong with people? Why aren't they selling? You know, and I understand because there's other stuff out there. Or they just weren't, you know, for me, oh, they're a powerhouse. But they're a powerhouse for me because I use them. I don't need them anymore. But if it's not in your project, they're not a powerhouse to you because it has nothing to do with what you want. But then that person who does want it, you know, will come up with the cash and say, hey, this is what I want. If they're still there in a month or two and my money comes in, I'm going to call up. And I had a big breeder call me up. I don't want to say his name, but called me up and says, hey, man, is this for sale? And I'm like, texting him back. Yeah, it's still available. And then I hit send and I look back. There's another one. I'll also take this one if it's available. Oh, yeah. You know, and he's like, what would you do for the two? Oh, for a package price, I can do this. I hit send. And next thing you know, I'll take this animal too. And I'm like, holy fuck. You know, tell me what animals do you want anymore? Because every time I sent it, then he'd have another one, adding another animal on Morphmarket, a different thing. And I'm like, what do you need? Cool. He ended up buying 3, and it was 5 figures for the 3 animals. Done. They were on there for 6 fucking months.
That's nuts.
6 months. And the funny thing is every animal too, because of the weight, I added an extra $500. So if they bought that probably 3 or 4 months ago, they would have saved $500 off each animal. You know, the time and the place, the need, the want, the cash, done. You know, but it took me 6 months to get that. But you know what? I have other animals that are going and moving and you know, so it's not always easy. You put an animal up unless it's in someone's budget and it's the right animal for what they want. It could be the best animal that you have in your collection.
Right.
But if it has nothing what people want or the direction they're going, it's not going to fucking sell. So produce shit that you like, but also that the market also wants, you know?
Yeah. And I think too, coming from like the other side of that, I had my eye on a certain snake probably for a good month. It was on Morphmarket, but I was like, you know what? I can just get the cash up front, take care of it, get it paid for. So hit the guy up on Instagram.
Balling, eh? Oh, fucking Antoine's balling.
so hit guy up on Instagram. It says seen. I'm like, okay, message me back. You know, a couple days later, liked. I'm like, okay. Another week goes by. Hey, text me. So I'm like, man. After that week went by, I decided to go somewhere else with a different project. I'm like, I don't fucking want the animal. You know. But then I'm like, it can still fit into my project. So I was like, well, let me just text him back and see what happens. He's like, well, you need to jump on it right now because like somebody else wants to buy it. And I'm like, dude, it's been there for a fucking month. And then it brings you back to the same thing you were just talking about. You know, like maybe somebody else is in that same situation right now where they're ready to just buy something. And then, you know, you snooze, you lose, boom, done, paid for. You know, I didn't get to pick up the project, but I was just like, fuck, man, you know. But I could have tried a little bit harder. You know, I wasn't like, hey, what's going on? You know, I like let days go by, then eventually a week and a half, and then nothing. But, you know, but that didn't hurt me too much. And in hindsight, I'm glad I spent my money somewhere else with a different project because it kind of moved me a little bit further ahead. But I'm still just like, fuck, man. You know, I'm just my ego got in the way at that point. You know, so.
Yeah, this hobby and seeing the amazing stuff out there. I mean, you sort of have your groups and what you want to make, and then you see other people come up with amazing stuff, and you're like, holy fuck, I want to get into that now. Like it's never gonna stop. The stuff that people are creating and stuff that you never thought you wanted, now you want because people are out there putting the work in. You know, I mean, I'm not a huge het red xanthic. I say it all the time. Het red xanthic, I fucking hate it. I have some of them. They don't really do anything for me. I haven't really seen anything that blows me away. I know there's a few people out here. Is she still here? Callie. I don't know if she's still here, but Callie from Capo Reptiles or Capo. Jesus, Capo Reptiles. Yeah, KPOP Reptiles. What the fuck? Capo Pythons. K-pop. Anyways, Callie, she loves it. It's one of her favorites. She loves that whole complex, and I can't stand it. But you know what? Someone's gonna make something I'm gonna be blown away with, and then I want to get that or change it or get it to add to something that I have. You never know. And just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people don't have to like it. You do what you like and go from there.
Is there a gene this year that you absolutely despised for a long time, but you actually saw it in something else and you was like, that's that? What the fuck? Is there a gene?
Is there a gene that what?
Is there a gene that you absolutely hated for a long time, but then you saw it in like a recessive or in a different project like this year, and you was like, well, maybe I should change my mind on that thing, or something that hit you and like finally won you over when it got combined with something else?
Can't think of that offhand. Because anything I don't really like, I still don't really like. I'm not saying that my mind will change. I mean, I'm thinking. I know one. I'll say puzzle right now. Puzzle, I don't love. I like it. I think it's a good gene. It's recessive. I just haven't seen anything that fucking blows me away.
Right.
What's coming and the people working with it, and I'm sure I'm gonna see something go, holy fuck, that is nuts. But there isn't something out there that blows me away right now to go, holy fuck, I gotta get in. Sunset's another. Sunset. Even though I finally got into Sunset this year, nothing blows me away like, oh my god, did you see that fucking sunset? Oh my god, it's not crazy. Nothing has done that yet. But I'm sure that it will. It's just the right genes, the right mix, the right combo, and moving forward. I mean, what we've seen 20 or 30 combos out of 10,000. Shit, like if every gene on the planet is going to make you go, wow.
Yeah.
It's when and with what.
So without giving up all the sunset plans, do you just want to try to like make it brighter or something that will like hold the color on it more, or is that like which way are you thinking about going with it?
I'm going to do the long game. So I've got a Sunset Ghost male, and I've got a few different things. I'm probably going to put him to my I don't know if I want to do I probably do Dreamsicle. I'll make quads, and that way I think down the road, somebody says, oh, you know what makes this pop? You need Enchi or you need something else. I can always get that down the road into my male to breed back or something. But a lot of stuff that I want to do with Sunset, I think Lav, I think Albino. I don't really like it in the dark stuff. So, I mean, it's still tough, but I mean, when you see what other people are doing, like the Cinnamon Enchi Sunset is it's something. When Brian Cusco hit those, it's something like, wow, okay, that's wow, now we're getting somewhere. But all the other stuff is just like, ugh.
I'm waiting to see what the if Miguel hits the albino sunset. I think those babies are like I think they're going this year. So I think I think he did some double hits with those. So I'm excited to see about that, whatever. So I'm be texting him like, let me see, send me all the pictures, Yeah,
well, I'm sort of the same thing. Albino, I mean, all my albino stuff is sort of, I made it.
Up on me. I think I got you back. I got you.
Oh, yeah. So all my albino stuff is already allocated for other projects that I've started, and I want to continue because, I mean, super asphalt albino stuff is nuts. And I've got quite a few of it to keep pushing it and getting Enchi in and some other stuff. So I want to see where that goes. But then I know that I have a lot of lavender stuff, lavender pied. So getting lavender in, if it looks that great in albino, I think it's going to look even better with lav. So I have that option. And then when I see what Miguel does, and it is fucking crazy, then hey, after this year, when I do what I originally set out for with my albino stuff and my super albino, and I have so much crazy. I have 3, 4, 5 gene albino het ghost. Like I've got trick, I've got like cinnamon. I have albino, cinnamon, blackhead, Mojave trick, het ghosts growing up, and I got like 3 or 4 of them. I mean, just crazy stuff. And the result is nice, but it's not crazy. But I know what they have with the right gene can make crazier stuff.
See, so, I'm such a loon that I had these 3 or 4 year projects ahead that when I have what as my end goal, I've already got names for the fuckers. I'm like, so nobody won't fucking take them and shit.
Yeah, you hope not, eh? You're like a year away, and some other person's like, that doesn't even look like a fucking such and such.
Yeah, I'm just like, holy. I'm just like, fuck, man. Yeah, I have names for like monsoon combos that I want to hit.
Slow down.
So when you start popping monsoon combos, I'm like, hey man, call it this. Like this is dope. That's a dope ass name. So it'd be freaking nuts, man. So, but I'm not gonna give it away just yet. But I got some stuff I'm working on, man. That I got. So like, it's always a hard thing when you do like marketing your own name. You don't want to have it like super fucking corny either. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't, I don't want to see, like, every time I think of a new name for something, I think about when Chris Eaton's looking at his phone. Is he going to go, that fucking Antoine, what the fuck is a turbo and shit? So,
this fucking guy belongs on TikTok.
Yeah, this fucking asshole over here. It's lucky. Yeah, so it's just fun to do, man. So shit. But man, this was crazy, man. Like, I really appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
And like, dude, it's really been an honor. And especially when it's somebody that like I admire and respect for so long and shit. And like when I'm watching your videos, when people are coming in like, dude, you on your phone watching this same guy again? I'm like, it's a new video, bitch. It's a new one. It's a new one every day. So it's just like my thing is just having that mindset, having an entrepreneurial spirit. And a long time ago, I used to get upset when people say, Antoine, I think you're more of a hustler than a businessman. Like at first,
you got to be both, man.
At first, I use it as a pejorative and stuff. I'm like, well, why are you saying that? Because of this, and this. And then I realized that I was like, dude, but what I'm doing works. So I don't care what label you put on it. You know what I mean? But like, I'm out here grinding every day. I eat, sleep, drink, and think this all the time. Yep. There's not one moment where I'm not walking through the house where I'm like, fucking, like, I've never been in my house and like forgot to look at my fucking snakes, like, like even if I'm not cleaning and I just got done doing like a full cleaning and I'm aggravated because shit isn't going right, I still come in here, look at my shit, and I sit in my room in this warm ass fucking snake room. And I'm like, man, dude, I could imagine like 5 years ago when, there was a time where I wouldn't have a whole row of visual recessive females and stuff. I thought that was a pipe dream,
Yeah. And I mean, that's what's great. You set your own goals.
Right.
And you know what? Who cares what if you can see what you've done and you can see your own growth and you can open up a rack and go, holy, like you said, I can't believe I have 5 of these. I never thought. Well, you do. And then that's going to turn into 20 and then double recessives. And it comes with work and time and thought and having those goals and that mindset of where you want to be, how to get there. And a lot of people, I don't have all that cash to get into the project. Yep. What you do, you just have to go at a smaller level.
Yep.
If you want to get into something, but double heads is, that's a fucking long way to go. Yeah, but at least you're in it. If you have double heads, you're 1 in 16, but you have a chance. If you don't have anything, you got fucking 0 chance. If you got lots of money, buy the 2 double fucking visuals, and yeah, you're laughing. But you don't have to give up because you don't have money. Most of the stuff, like look at all the ghost clown stuff. Look at all the xanthic clown stuff I'm hitting. I started that shit in 2012 and 2013. And now I'm fucking reaping the reward for all that hard work, holding the stuff back, holding the visual 66%, improving them out. And wow, wait to see what I do next year. And it's all because of what I did in the past. I didn't have, I don't even know what an xanthic clown would have been back in 2012.
Oh, shit.
Okay? Like 50K? Oh, I don't have 50K. So guess what? I got fucking xanthic and I got clown. Let me put them together and make double hets. And that's what I did. And now look at me. Now I'm popping them out and selling them like crazy.
Yeah.
And adding jeans to them, you know. But
hey, typical. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out. I think you said something about doing a video probably tomorrow. So message me when you have that bad boy out, so we can go ahead and watch some content from you too. So I appreciate you coming through. But yeah, man. Like I'm always around, bro. So whenever if you have somebody fall out of a live on a Monday, just call me. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. Well, I definitely have to have you back eventually, anyways. Because the first one was sort of like testing and you know. But it was great. I still enjoyed it. The only thing is we're getting better at it. And
so man, so it's gonna be fun, man. Like and all the guys are dope, man. Even Chris Ward, man, that's my dude, man. Like I fuck with him heavy, man. That's my guy. I'm gonna give him that shout out from Maynard Keenan from Tool to watch this year. I'm gonna do it.
Awesome. Yeah, he was at the facility today, and like I said, I mean, you know, even though he's not at MC every weekend like he used to be, and him and Nick, he's still part of MC. I know if I needed him, he'd be there in a heartbeat. We still talk on a regular basis. He's here 2 days on Monday. You know, he's still a huge part of this. He's an awesome guy. You know, he's out there now, and I've seen him grow. You know, as we've been together, I've seen him grow and his mindset change and what he's doing, and he's getting it now with the investing and the time and the weight and. You know, that shitty year he had a few years ago, you know, now it's like, oh shit, it changes. And, you know, he's on that good thing, but you know, he's there helping other people and he's involved in the community and it's great. And I mean, more people need to do this, you know, if it's what you want to do. Don't just sit there and go, oh, I got to be on all these lives because I have to be. Oh, I better comment on people's things because that's what I have to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But I don't get on these things because I better fucking show my face or people are going to forget me. I'm fucking out there every day on a video. I'm doing my own lives. I'm doing fucking podcasts. Like, I don't need to be a part of this. You know, I want to be. And that's the thing. If you want to be and post and be out there, then do it. I know it might be afraid, you know, you might be, you know, like you said, you know what? It's strange. Your phone's always wrong. But once you get in there, you get more comfortable and you know, just be yourself, but don't do this stuff if it's not what you want to do. Like you can be behind the scenes, not do lives, not do anything like that, and still be a successful fucking breeder.
And that's what the one big thing I learned from you too, man, from you is that like, you know, with a couple of us, we call you like the Joe Rogan of the reptile world because I'm in a stand-up comedy too. So and going to the Comedy Store a lot. I saw before Rogan came back, there was a lot of comedians who felt like they were in competition with each other. Like they do a show, they bring people on the road with them who like weren't as good so they can make themselves look better and things like that. And no one like ever pushed each other on social media. And then when Rogan came back, like everybody started thriving. You started knowing, I just started knowing so many people because Rogan would put them on his podcast or he'll retweet them and go, you know what? And then he'll say, you know what, man, it doesn't cost anything to help out somebody. And helping out that guy puts eyes on the industry, period. So that way, when they're getting money, we're all getting money, man. And like, and that's another reason why too, I admire you so much, man, because like you putting someone's shirt on your channel and you posting someone's Instagram or reposting something like that doesn't cost you a fucking dime. No, and it's not hurting you at all, you know. So the fact that you
not only that, I just go and I look through and I click on someone's name. And I look at if they have, you know, 6 or 7 pictures in the first dozen that I can relate to that I want to see more of. I go up and I hit follow. And you know what?
Yeah.
An hour later, people are like, oh my God, Billy, wow, you made my day. Just by hitting a fucking button on a phone that's with me 24 hours a day. I just hit a button, say like or follow, and I change someone's day. I make it's so fucking easy, people. I don't understand what's so fucking hard. And you know what I love? I love everybody in these comments and everybody that comes on to all these, the crew of people that come on and follow everybody and support everybody. That's what we fucking need to do. And more people are doing it. And it's only good for the industry, the hobby, yourself, and other people. Because you know what? I make great money in this industry. But you know what fucking makes me more excited? When I get a fucking message on my phone saying, Billy, you made my day. You're one of the reasons why I got into this, you know, following you, this and that. Like the stuff that I get is more rewarding than any fucking dollar sign, you know, because money's coming. I've always made money. I've never been to the point where people, You know, when I was making when I was playing poker, I'm fucking winning 30, 40, $50,000 a night. You think I got a fucking thing saying, "Hey, Billy, thanks for taking my money"? You're an fuck no. I mean, that means more to me than money. I've had it. I can spend it. You know what? It's not about money. The fucking messages that I get from Inspire, and I don't even have to follow them. People just say, "Hey, Billy, I love what you do. I watched your channel. You know, I was afraid of snakes, blah, 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 blah. You inspire me." That's fucking worth any dollar amount. I mean, and you know what? I get it from being me and doing what I love to do. And I'm just being myself, and I'm trying to keep it real. And that's all it is.
Shane Orton said, Steve from Steve Moore is proof you don't need to do YouTube to be known. No, man, if you can put out some cool stuff,
correct.
You know what I mean? If you can have some really good product out there, that people will come to you. You know, it's just it's just an alternate way of doing it. Like, I know that me for myself, that I wasn't going to be producing like this ridiculous knock your socks off stuff right away. But I know that when I have my face out there now, it'd be easier to put that stuff out there. You know what I mean? So that was just another avenue, and neither one is wrong, you know? So Steve from Steve Morphs is dope as hell. And Chad, my favorite comedian, you probably won't know him, but look up Wild Man Steve. I used to listen to his records in the basement of my house when I was a kid, when I wasn't supposed to, and I used to get my ass whooped over. But yeah, look up Wild Man Steve, and that's probably my favorite comedian of all time. So look up. So, cool. But yeah, man, we're gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna finish watching Cobra Kai because that shit is
already
awesome.
seen it, bud. We binge watched it.
And I'm gonna post the raffle for the media kit tonight. Awesome. So everybody watch out for that. So thank you very much, Billy. Hey, if you don't know who he is, you're crazy. All this info will be in the description down below. Make sure you subscribe and follow him on Instagram too. Like and share this video, man. Hit that notification bell so you know every time we pop up some fire, dudes. Appreciate you guys. Till next time, deuces.
Happy New Year.